Welcome back to Ladies of Another View on back. And now as we move into this next segment, we're not going to be quite so politically correct.
Well, we got Emily joined us.
Yes, thanks for mentioning it.
There's someone, where'd you come from?
It just kind of flew in.
Yes, I should definitely mention that. Sometimes we do a little musical chairs depending on the guests that we have. So there's 4 of us here now, and we wanted to talk about some of the issues as we look into the new year. What are the things that we are most concerned about? And for me, there's a lot of things I'm concerned about, and we're all going to talk about that.
Where do I start? I mean,
yeah,
either
yeah.
or.
Did you make a
How much
list?
I will
time
get
do
you
we
started.
have?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, I am going to get you started, and we have the whole year to talk about this stuff. But one of my biggest gripes right now is the insanity of the whole transgender issue in sports, where you've got men who are doing well, or maybe they're not doing so well, and they switch over to women. And I'm not saying they're doing it just so they can win. They obviously have some problems, because if you're a healthy, balanced person, you're not going to go from saying you're a man or a woman and to the other one. So they're confused. But let's just take a look at some of the top athletes who are breaking records.
I'm just sick.
It makes me sick. So you've got CC Telfer. Now this is CC Telfer. He does hurdles. Okay, this is a weightlifting guy. Gregory. And he won all kinds of titles, dominated the Raw Powerlifting Federation in Virginia. He also broke.
This was while he was a man, right? I mean, he still is a man.
No, he says he's a woman. Okay, well, he got a little bit of trouble here because he hadn't been on testosterone long enough, but he supposedly broke 4 women's records. And he said, what a day. As a transgender lifter, I didn't know what to expect, but he felt like everybody really welcomed him. Well, then you have Terry Miller, a sprinter. These are just some examples. And you look at these pictures and you can go, okay, now can you tell which one is the guy? Which one's the guy? There's Terry Miller. The one just, gliding, is going to take over the woman. And the problem is that, so this was a track championship in 2019. 2 biological men in Connecticut left their opponents in the dust. These 2 young women that would have been top in the state, instead, 2 men took those titles.
They just need to put them in their own special class.
Yes.
It's like you have men's sports, you have women's sports, and then a transgender sport. But no way on God's green earth should these people be included in a women's sport. It's just beyond, it's stupid. It's stupid. I said it out loud.
Keep talking, Mary. Let's look at Rachel McKinnon in cycling.
Stupid.
Rachel McKinnon, cycling. Who's the guy here? Look at those leg muscles. That is not a woman. And then we'll move ahead to Mac Baggs in wrestling. Now, this is a weird story. See this? Totally dominates the competition. And this is weird.
Okay, can I ask a question? Is that a man, woman?
Okay, this is what's weird about this one. It's a biological female who started
on the bottom
taking,
there, right?
No, on the top.
On the top, that's a female.
But she says she's a man. And so she wants to wrestle with men, and University of Texas, or Texas University said, no, you have to stay with the women. But she's taking testosterone, and she's beating out the competition. Like, since when can you take testosterone?
So it's women wrestling.
It's women,
women's wrestling, yeah.
She
But
is
see,
a woman.
that should be that's like a drug. I mean, it's like an enhancement drug to
Yes.
take
It'd be like
testosterone.
taking steroids. I didn't think you could take steroids.
Yeah, but I guess you can take
testosterone.
testosterone. So, but I mean, why would you want to do that? But I don't know. So here's the last picture. There's lots and lots of examples, but I just wanted to show the most recent one. We did talk about it on the show. Is Leah Thomas. So here he was, a male swimmer, and he was a top male swimmer at University of Pennsylvania. So he was already doing really well. And now he's breaking records in the women's 500 and 200 freestyle, and he smashed numerous UP records in women's swimming. Smash those records? Excuse me, why do you have Title IX? So you have fairness in women's sports. Is this fair that there are women now that no longer get those titles, that can't compete, can't get first place? And the thing is,
What's the difference? He grew his hair long?
okay, this is the
Where's his shirt buttoned up?
I'm going to tell you the difference. It's ridiculous. So you have to be taking testosterone for 12 months. But I read an article from a doctor that said those advantages that they experience with, because they're males and testosterone and the strength of their muscles, their heights, those are permanent advantages. And being on testosterone for 12 months does not diminish those advantages.
So you're saying a female who wants to be a male takes testosterone for 12 months. Is that how, is that?
Oh, I
Yeah,
said, you're correct. Thank
Yep.
you, Mary. That's why we have you here.
Thank you, I'll be here all year.
But so what I what I meant is the reverse.
Right.
Is that if they lower their testosterone levels, they still have those advantages
Right.
they were
Oh, I
born
know.
with.
I know.
And so they're saying, well, they get tested and your testosterone level has to be to a certain point. Now you can say you're a woman and you're competing as a woman. But no, the advantages are permanent and it is not fair. And I've got to believe, because a lot of times the crazy liberal stuff goes into women's issues, but a lot of the women who maybe identify as feminist and liberal are starting to go, wait a minute, this isn't fair.
Yeah,
So,
it backfired on him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I don't know, there's so much insanity, but
I
Emily,
really-
did you compete in sports?
I did, yeah. I was in sports
What
since
did
I
you-
was 5 years old, and it was boy sports and girl sports.
Right.
And that
What
is
did
it.
you go to?
I was a cross country runner and a basketball player, and then also softball.
Yeah.
And so if a sport was co-ed, it was a co-ed
Yep,
sport.
exactly.
Right? So you could play on a co-ed team and you knew you were playing against a boy or
Yep.
against a girl
Yeah. Or
because
with
it's
a
a
boy or
co-ed
girl.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back because when I went to school, there was only boys wrestling, but they were starting to allow girls to wrestle, but they wrestled boys if they wanted to wrestle. But otherwise, I mean, it was boys
Now
and
there's
girls.
girls
and-
wrestling, too.
Yeah, now there's girls
Girls
wrestling,
wrestling,
and all that
yeah.
stuff. But
But
there wasn't
sometimes
that.
there's stipulations, like on volleyball, you would have to have a certain number of boys and girls if it's co-ed, and then the bar, if you got a boy on your team, the bar has to be set a certain distance. So anyways,
So-
I've kind of dominated the topic here.
But
You-
one thing that makes me think of that is because, okay, let's just start out. God bless them. It's a mental illness, okay? So let's fix that. But it'd be no different than someone who got stuck, say, as a drunk driver and they identify as a sober driver. What's the difference, right? Hey, if they identify as a sober driver, why don't we let them buy too, right? How about you get a speeding ticket, right? Okay, you're going 75 in a 65. Oh, I identify as someone following the speed limit. It doesn't work that way. You're born a boy, you're born a girl. That's it. I know there's the hermaphrodites. There is a case, or there are cases where things are a little bit iffy, and it's a medical
That happens.
Right, but
condition.
that's not
It
what's
certainly
going
is.
on,
Well,
by
you
and
just
large.
can't pretend something is real when it's not. End of story.
And you can't play along with a mental illness. Since when does the person that has the mental illness, and it's called dysphoria, just the same as if you have anorexia and you think you're obese, but really you're a skeleton
Yes,
wasting
good
away?
point.
It is a mental illness. And since when do you get to diagnose yourself and dictate the treatment and that everybody has to play along? It's not healthy. It's not fair. And it's not healthy for the person that's suffering. We aren't saying that they
Right. They need
aren't
help.
suffering.